Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and I have another review for you. Normally, this review would have got some music that accompanied the review, but going with the story and everything, the music will actually be exited out of this video, and we'll kind of go into that. So we got Image Comics and 12 Gauge Productions, but we got vinyl. I think this is issue number 4, and it is done by Doug Wagner, artist by Daniel Hilliard, colors by Dave Stewart, and letters by Ed Dukeshire. If you don't know what this is about by now, this is the 4th issue, and it's kind of steadily popular, but just in case, it is about a serial killer and his best friend, a FBI agent that is after him. Nonetheless, his best friend has been kidnapped by a group called the Sunflower Cult. It might not be the real name of the group, but that's what I'm going to call them. I'm bad with names. But the Sunflower Group has kidnapped, our main character, Walter, his friend Dennis, and Walter is basically on a rescue mission to save his friend Dennis from the Sunflower Group cult, kind of thing. At this point in the story, Walter has kind of formed a group of serial killer squad. He has a bunch of friends that are also serial killers, and he has sent them to try and help him, recover Dennis and get them out of there, safe and sound, kind of thing. In the last issue, some events happened. If you have not watched or read the previous issues, check out my review. I have a single form issue for each issue, 1, 2, and 3. But plug to watch my other stuff. But Walter has Alzheimer's, and he has an extreme case of Alzheimer's. We found out in the last issue. But on top of that, he uses music to to kind of remember things. And in the last issue, we saw that his his iPod that he carries around that gives him those tunes so he can remember got broken, and now he is in complete he just cannot remember anything, and it is at the worst time because they are in the middle of saving Dennis. They have already saved Dennis, but they are kind of at the halfway point and need to continue on with the mission, whether it's to escape or but we are catching up with that. But vinyl number 4, here we go. So just like I mentioned, we are catching up, with there is right now like 4 separate groups. It is the twins and this guy that they show on the cover, and I think his name is specifically Guy. Remember, guys, I'm bad with names, so that might not be his name. It's the 2 twins, Guy. It's one girl by herself, and I'm drawing a blank at her name. But then we have Walter, Dennis, and the FBI agent. I think her name is like Ramirez. Again, bad with names. And no, her name, I don't know. But okay, so, and I think the other girl's name was Renee. It's this girl. And again, bad with names, guys. I suck at names. And I'll read them and forget them like 2 seconds later. Okay, so they are kind of they have just saved Dennis, and Walter has had the issue with his iPod, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do from this point on. They already know that things are screwed up, so Renee, one of the serial killer friends that kind of knows Walter on a different level, comes and grabs Walter, and they start heading out. Dennis is trying to, put together things now that he has seen Walter in the vinyl mask, and he has put 2 to 2 together that this is the killer that he has been on the hunt for, because he had never seen Walter in his serial killer kind of, it's something that was held behind doors kind of thing. So at the same time of being saved, he also realizes and confirms that Walter all along is the serial killer that he has been after. We catch up with Cecilia, I think her name is, and she is the leader of the Sunflower Group, and she is kind of pissed that everything is going down, and basically she kind of, she activates her mother, kind of. Her mother has been locked up in like this depression kind of vault or something like that, and we don't know why she's kept up. We get to another scene where the twins are still back in the tunnels and stuff after they had killed most of the bodyguards, and and they're kind of just chilling and waiting for the group. I think this is the exit route that they're supposed to be taking, but as they are waiting, and they think it's Guy that is walking up to them, and it is not. It is one of the enemies, and as you can see right here in extreme bloody fashion, but somebody walks up and just starts eating one of the twins. The twin was not able to be saved because the one twin kind of stares in horror instead of fighting or doing anything. But I mean, as you can tell, the guy walks up and just kind of starts biting on the guy's face, and right after that rips his arm off. We do see that, that Walter and the group are kind of making their way out, and they do come across the twins and see the kind of the end of this horrific scene with one of the twins still kind of freaked out and crying about his brother dying. He did have a thing with Renee, because Renee is a serial killer and she has a passion for wearing people's skins, and it was kind of a promise that the twins had asked Renee that if they died, that she was the one who killed them, and she wanted her to make a suit of skin out of them, kind of thing. And at the end we kind of get this, it's a sad scene, even though it looks the opposite, but the twins are kind of upset that she broke her promise, that she was not the one that killed them, that it was some kind of random dumbass, and he ends up taking his life because at this point it's forfeit. They are quite a bit of ways from that attacker and the Savant, and they kind of just they end up running off, and we do see that Renee is extremely pissed and sad that that guy killed the twins and took her, kind of one of her, her presents that was supposed to be had, and we do see that this guy, and he starts following them. The talk with Cecilia and her mom, and basically she has given her mom some axe and asking her mom to go track down everybody and kill everybody in the goriest fashion that she knows how, and basically she just releases her mom. We catch up to a really weird scene here because we are going full circle right back to the first issue. Paints so many different questions and opens up more, because if this is the first scene or the same room in the beginning, and the lady that we met that looked like a zombie crazy person ends up being Cecilia's mom, it kind of looks like they flip-flop on us. Like we started off at the end of the story, and now we are kind of like it rewound and we are catching up to it now. I didn't think that's how this story was going. I thought they were showing us the past, but we'll get there. So we catch up in this, it looks like a nursery, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is, and they are kind of trying to figure out what they're going to do, and really about Walter's issue with his iPod. And they do remember in this one room that there was a vinyl, kind of a vinyl player, and they did see some vinyl, records that they could use to maybe kind of get Walter back into the hip of things. They do show a scene where Guy is trying to get back with everybody, the other serial killer. He's just massive brute, and he kind of makes it to this auditorium, and is basically, it's a big trap with all these sunflower nuts waiting to anybody that's going to come by. But they basically they do end up killing him, and he puts up this massive fight, and he doesn't go out in a blaze. Yeah, he does. He goes out in a blaze of glory. He literally like pours fire over himself, and burns to death. But as he do it, he kind of grabs as many as he can and beats the hell out of the others that he can't. But that sadly, that is the end of Guy. We do see a conversation between Walter and Dennis is still trying to, figure out what is going on and piece together everything that he knows. Now that he has kind of figured out that Walter is the vinyl killer, and also trying to get Walter back into the step of things, because he does remember that Walter knows a lot of music, and instantly he starts kind of snapping his fingers and he just starts singing a song, and bam, just like we know, the Easter egg of the red butterfly shows up, and Walter, it looks like, has some of his memories. We see on Walter's face that not only is it determined, that he is pissed. The next scene, which paints one of the you know, good puzzles for this book, but we do see that Dennis looks like he got kind of something piercing through his body, and we find out it is the mother catching up with him, and that was the axe going through Dennis's chest, and Walter putting on that mask to go all vinyl mode on Mother, and that's basically where the issue leaves off. Now, there are some, I gotta go back and read the first issue now, because that first scene, if this is the way it looks like, that first scene had Walter, Dennis, and the mother in that nursery. The record was playing. Walter did put on that mask, and he does end up killing that zombie-looking lady. But I don't remember Dennis being injured in that scenario. That's why I have to go back and look. But it looks like that's the way this book, you know, kind of like started us at the end, and now and it is catching up. So it looks like in the next issue, if that's the case, that the officer, Renee, I think it was, or Ramirez, and the other people that are in the story, we only saw Dennis, Walter, and the mother at the end of the story. So I have to imagine the other ones meet in a bad ending, or they just didn't show us all the ending. It was only really that one scene. But still, man, Vinyl is one of my top books. It is definitely one of my favorites from 2021, and definitely one of my favorites that I've read maybe my whole life. The art, just the story. I love this whole like serial killer, you know, super squad team idea. Man, it's great. But I'm a horror fan. I love the gore and the creepiness and so for me, that's why it's a super win. I'm already a fan of all that stuff, and they just highlight it, you know, in glorious fashion, in good fashion. It's not I really dig all the art and the coloring, man. It's not like one. You know, you can really tell this is a team effort in a comic, and sometimes it's really hard to see, you know, like I call out the letterist and the artist and the writer, but you talk about it in this book, you can really see the you know, the writer and the artist, but the colorist and the letter, you know, I mean, it is a nice team that they have going here. Hey, but that's my review on Vinyl issue number 4, and hopefully in the next issue we will have some music that goes along with this review. We need you know, the Vinyl Killer to get back his tunes, right? But that's my review, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see y'all in a little bit.